All right. 7Q game. 7Q game. Basic start on Joseki. Very, very nice. I probably would have taken the higher one, but same thing. Definitely going to take the higher one here. That's probably what I would have done. I'm going to do this as well. Not really sure what the biggest move is right now. I mean, there isn't much development in the center. This is one of those games where you just settle all the corners. There's no real fights. And there's not that much to be done with the invasions. Both sides are very, very equal at this point. And now I think, like, as you move into the... I don't really like that move specifically. I think this one's fine. As you move kind of like into the mid game, it's going to be interesting to see like who gets more of an advantage. Definitely. There's not much to do. I can invade this way, but there's no point in invading this way, actually. This is where I'm kind of at a loss for things. I'm going to play this, but I do think there are bigger moves here. Because that does solidify this a little bit, but this particular shape has problems, definitely. I actually have, ever since I started playing these teaching games, I've never actually played a game like this before. Where I've actually not played a game like this. Where, like, both sides just start evenly. I've been waiting to do something like this because these are the kind of games I'm actually really weak at. And I'm primarily weak at these games because I'm not very good. I haven't really played enough AI games to figure out like what's the biggest move once this actually happens. Because right now invading anything is not a good idea. At this point, invading anything is just not a good idea. Like some of you might think, oh, this is a really great move. Not really. Even if he just plays like K16 and you have to jump, there's not that many points down here. Yeah, like invading is just not really a great idea at this point. Ooh, this might have been a bad move by me. It's actually quite a bad move on my part. Actually, no. I wonder if he realizes that if I just do this, he doesn't have enough liberties to actually win against me in a fight. So he basically just gave that up. That's actually a really big loss for him. So he didn't play that sequence right. You were supposed to Hane this first, because that would actually give me a lot of problems. The thing is that if you do this, I should have connected, and then should have just given you the bottom territory. I actually messed up on that sequence there pretty hard. Also, this is why you don't play this move first. Because he has to spend an extra move to actually do that, yeah. Black really didn't get anything out of this. Definitely, like, if you play that, you should Hane first. Like, come up and then Hane first. That would give white a plethora of problems to deal with. Because then you have, like, cuts all over the place. And you have a lot more liberties to work with. He's just making it worse now. He's definitely just making it worse now. Because there's really not much he can do here that would actually help the situation. I don't think it really matters which way I Atari. This way would have probably been better, actually. But I don't think it really matters which way I Atari. Because I can just curl. You're not going to beat me in terms of, like, in terms of liberties. There's really no way. He just gave me the corner. He should have just Haned on. He should have just cut the losses and Haned. I don't even know if I need to answer that. I don't think I actually do. I'm going to go ahead and do this anyways. But I don't think I need to answer this. Because there's really not much he can do. That's like a 20-point loss for him, so that's pretty much game. But unless someone else messes up really fast. The biggest move, I believe, would actually be to extend this right now, but this is a huge loss. Guys, please hit the likes and subscribes. This is useless. This is realistically digging yourself a bigger hole. So it doesn't actually matter what I do. I can just take it.
You have won.
Yeah, so the critical mistake, I actually made a pretty big mistake here. Obviously, like, this particular invasion, okay, first of all, this move wasn't very good. This move wasn't very good. I think I should have probably just, like, done this or something. Or actually, no, I should have just done this. I definitely should have just done that. Because, like, this move, like, the R8 invasion is pretty powerful, so that's a wrong move by me. I should have just done this. I mean, I should have just done this. Either this or this. This would have been the right move. I wanted to do this just to get rid of the S12 invasion. So, doing that, I covered. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I would actually opt to do this. Well, actually, no. This is fine. This is actually fine, but you definitely have to Hane here. Yeah,
Challenge received.
the invasion is just kind of weird, but if you Hane here and then you cut, you see like if I do this, you can just snap backwards, and then like this is and then like something like this is a little bit harder for black to deal with. But this overall this overall invasion is just kind of, yeah. I mean, I think doing this right now, I should have done this first, I guess. But I did this. So essentially, yeah, actually, like he did that right. He would have actually beaten me in terms of liberties here. So that's how it should have actually turned out. But he did kill me here, but I did get a lot of like, I did get some influence on top. I obviously would prefer this result for black, but he actually just read that wrong. So yeah, I should have done this first. And then like the transformations out here are kind of weird because then you're kind of like fighting out here. This is really like a thing of fighting skill. This is a wrong move by me, but this is definitely a wrong move by him. He needs to block this. He definitely needs to block this. And then I need to Atari. He needs to connect. I need to do this. He needs to extend. I need to do this. And then he does this, and he actually kills these three in here. It's not too bad for me because I did get all this extension out here. And I can use like moves like this now to try to build. I can actually use like moves like this actually to try to build like, you know, my repertoire out here. And kind of like build the territory here. So like, by the way, it's like that is a move that you can do. You can actually shoulder hit here, and if he does this, you can just hit over here, and then you know you can try to build your shape this way. So that's kind of like one way you would build the shape. So he definitely messed up over here. But yeah, like in this situation, in this shape, like this is definitely the move to go. This is definitely the move to go. And even like here, when I did this, I would immediately do this if I was black. This is just not a good. This is not a very good shape for white. So like, white invades. Black does this. I probably wouldn't have done that. I might have just gone this way because there's still kind of a vulnerable group here. But doing this, I come up. He does this. I should have immediately done this, and he should have. I think like instead of this, he should have immediately done this. But that's really the only mistake this particular game. All right, I'm gonna, I guess it's the same person again. So I will actually accept this game. Wait, is this one ranked? These games should not be ranked. Because I basically keep on just getting yeah, I basically just, I mean, this is going the exact same way as the first game. And this is basically a mirror of the first game. See, I don't think that's a good move. I'm going to do this again. Because this is generally a decent move here. And that's always the invasion. Like R R4 and S4 are always invasions down there. There's a couple of ways to respond to this. That's another way to respond to this. I think this particular method is giving up the corner in exchange for influence on the outside, which isn't a bad idea, honestly. It's a weird way to answer, but sure. I would have definitely haunted that. There's no way he can kill this corner. It's definitely alive, especially since he jumped here. This group is a little bit weak now. I'm gonna do that, and then there's really one response to that. I do think I have to respond here though. If I don't, this move becomes kind of troublesome, so I'm going to make sure this is alive. I'll explore this corner later. It might be okay for me to not respond to that because he doesn't have this particular move. But I don't really want to risk it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm definitely not 100% sure on this particular shape here. He did get some influence on the outside. Definitely got influence on the outside. But really it depends how he uses that influence now. Is this alive if he does this? I don't know. I think my guess is, my guess on this would be because he doesn't have this out here, I don't have to do this right now. I don't think that's the best move right now. I'm just going to do this. I probably should have responded to this, actually. I'm almost sure I should have responded to this, but we'll see. That's actually not the right move. I think I probably would have played this move. Yeah, there is some points here, but it's not really that big. And you had to spend several moves to actually get it. I would have just done this right here to try to separate out this one stone and these three stones. Because the thing is, like, you gave up this corner, and you gave up this particular move for that. Like here, I'm just gonna do this to reduce like your possibilities here. And plus, I still have K2 in the end, and this can still come out here. So there's not that much territory here if you actually let me reduce this way. So the thing is, like, playing this way, you're really just trying to use your influence to get back the points you lost in the corner. Because now, like, I have points in this corner, but you don't really have any points in this corner anymore. So how much can you actually get back? That's the real question. That's okay, actually. I don't really know what to do here. I mean, that seems okay. But at the same time, he can just build influence here. I think I'm just going to invade here first. This has been one of my go-to invasions. I don't particularly like it in this situation, though. I know exactly how I would respond to this, but I don't know if he'll respond in the same way. Because I actually don't like. There's not many. I wouldn't have responded that way, but there's not particularly that many points up there, so that's why I wouldn't have like done it this way. Also, I think that was a mistake by me. That was definitely a mistake by me. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and block this off right now. Just gonna go ahead and do this. That's definitely not what I expected. I'm actually willing to trade these two. That's not that many points. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is a lot of points here. And I can always jump these two out if I really want to. I just don't really want to. So I basically made his side my side. These two are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe like 10 points. So this is worth it for me. I don't know how much he's going to be able to get over here, though. And also, like, this isn't clean. I can just play this move. I'm not going to, but I can actually just play this move. It's not a good move for right now. I mean, you could definitely make an argument for that move later, but it's not good right now. This is still Sente, by the way, if people didn't know. Like, one of the things about playing SDK games is like, you should not get nervous if your opponent seems to be making a large territory. It's really not, like, most of the times it's really not that big of a deal if your opponent seems to be making a large territory. You kind of know how you kind of have to know how to deal with it if your opponent's making a large territory. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. That might actually be a mistake, but I think he has to answer here. Okay. Yeah, I think I win this. Pretty sure I win this. I didn't have to do this. This was a mistake by me. But I made him waste another move here, so I guess that's okay. If he plays if he plays B12, I can just play B14. Yeah. Pretty sure I win this one. And I win by 1 liberty here. these things you do have to calculate out 100%. If you don't calculate these things out, you won't do very well in Go. Yeah, this is not going to work either because I can just hide this. See, all I really have to do is have more than 3 liberties. So you're not gonna win this one against me. So I can just do this right now and he'd lose, but why? Like I have 4 liberties now. Right? Like you have to you definitely have to calculate this one out. Like I have 3 liberties, you have 3 liberties. I'm gonna Atari on this side, get this first, and then just go down here. I mean, you have to realize like how much you lost in here by doing this. And how many points you gave up to me. And how are you going to get that back? Also, this is not, I don't know if this is actually a really good move because now this is not Sente anymore. It used to be this is Sente if he had 3 liberties and I had 3 liberties. But he did get a lot of thickness here, so I will give him that. I definitely will give him that. I don't think that's a good move, but we'll see. He's trying to get this territory in here, obviously. But he's already given up like a lot of points here. I'm eventually just going to connect this because this can actually be pretty large. I'm going to connect this. I don't know if this is the biggest move here, but it definitely can be pretty big. Yeah, he has to do that. So in the end, like, that wasn't worth all that much. I have to be a bit careful here because this group is kind of weak. A little bit. So I'm going to do this first. I am giving up him this. I'm giving this territory to him, though. I can't do that. I'm going to do this to settle this other group here. Really? Do this first. There's a problem with what I did. There's also a problem with this. There's definitely a problem with this. I'm going to go ahead and address this first, though. We'll see if he actually knows how to kill this. Kill this giant group. Because that group is definitely in danger right now. I don't think you can kill it, honestly. Um, but we'll see. He can get a lot of advantages of basically getting this territory, though, which is somewhat problematic for me. Just going to take a gander and do this right now. See if I can get... see if I can just get some Senteis in here. This is actually not a good idea, by the way. Don't do this, because this group is in serious danger right now. I'm kind of like testing what he does on a lot of moves. It's actually not bad. I want to say that's probably not the right move. Um, let's see, do I do this? So I do this and he Ataris. Yeah, but then he can do this and cut that off. Huh. Do this first. I think he made a pretty big mistake here. This is pretty big. But he still might be ahead right now, though, is the thing. Probably is, actually. Because like, this is really big. This is also kind of risky. I'm like sacrificing like a lot to do stuff like this. But we're gonna see how this comes out. Because I completely ignored this group, which is not smart. Also, I have other options here. Okay, so I can bridge this and then see if he can live down there, which I think he might be able to. I can extend here. I think what I'm going to do is take the riskier option and hope for the best. Which again, is probably not the best move to make in the world. I don't think this works at all in my favor. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of problems to what I'm doing. That was definitely not the right move. Um, you can fight this Ko with me, but I don't think it works to his advantage. I don't think he has a lot of Kos is the problem. That's that big. And I do have the option of just connecting this way. So I don't think that works. But this is like a crazy fighting game, though. It's definitely a crazy fighting game. That's the only one he has. That's really that big. Huh. The problem is that do I have one that big? I don't think I do. Guess I can kill this corner, which I can't. Well, that's a conundrum. I've already given up so much here that I kind of need. If I just took him that, yeah, I wouldn't have won that. So he did have one. It's actually that big. I don't really have that many Ko's here that are that big. It's kind of an issue. I do need to connect this. But then he can come out here. If I let him take this, then this group isn't alive. So there's like huge problems with me right now. It's one of those games where I decided to play it interesting and it doesn't work in my favor. I can try this, but he would probably kill me. Even if I made that live, I probably don't think I win. Huh. Hmm.
Yoyomi.
Little bit stuck. I think I have to connect this because I don't have. I don't really have anything that this big. Which is kind of crappy. He has like he has a lot of points over here. There's only really one move for him right now, and there's one counter move for me. In that Ko, I'm much more willing to fight. I'm also in a hurry to get somewhere. Oh, I think that's a mistake. Because I'm going to connect this. I don't know if that really helps him. Hmm.
Ten, 9, 8.
Crap. I don't know if this. I think this actually helps me. I have to see. I think he made a mistake there. But he has a lot of territory anyways, and I still might not win this game. Because like this is a huge territory here. It's the only one, given it's the only one he has, but it is really big. This is a lot of points in here. This is one of those like don't play yourself into a hole things. He is down by 1 liberty here. That was pretty damaging for him, actually.
You have won.
Actually, okay, I'm slightly ahead here, but that was a really dangerous game for me. So the thing is, like, I played badly and I let him get this influence. So like, I'll review this game quickly because I need to get somewhere. That's fine. This is fine. This is fine. That's also fine. Same thing as last time. I don't think I had to actually answer this. I think I probably could have. I'm not really sure how this if this is alive or not. So I feel like I could have just gone this way, maybe. Yeah, I think this is alive actually, because he has to basically go up here. If he does this, then I'm alive. I don't think I have to answer this. So I probably made a mistake here. Like if this was closed, I do think I have to answer this. But since this is open, I don't have, I think I made a mistake here. I definitely should have just like gone here or something. So that's fine. This, I feel like I would have done this immediately. Um, there's not a good way for white to actually, there's not actually a good way for white to answer this. And now you just have two distinct groups. So that's like when he did this, I definitely should have like done this or something, right? Because when I do this, I was just being greedy, but I would have done this immediately. So go here, I'm gonna fix that. Because that just fixes a problem. This isn't that big right now. It will be in the future, but not right now. Going up here, decrease this. That's fine. That's not a good invasion as of right now. Jump up, and then go over here. Generally, like, if I can get this side while only sacrificing these two, it's a big win for me. So that's why I did this. This is just like, that's a bad move for me. I should have saved that until later. So like this invasion, I feel like I did okay in this invasion. It wasn't great, but that was a big mistake by me. Extend down, does this. So that actually is okay because he wrapped around and he has actually this over here. I don't, at this point, that was actually a pretty good invasion. At this point, I would probably be trying to pressure this group. I would probably just do this. I think that because you have this extension down, this group is a little bit vulnerable, and this might actually cause me to do this. And now you just have a much better option to do something like this. So overall, this invasion at this point was actually a bad idea for me. Like at this point. At this point, I definitely should have just done this or something. But this invasion here was a bad decision by me. I think the best thing for me to do is just do this at this point. Then he doesn't have like, because by me doing this and then him doing all these things, that's a bad move by me. I should have just done this probably. But by him actually being able to do this, yes, he is actually sacrificing more here. This is where I read wrong. He is sacrificing more here, but he does get the entire wraparound, and he gets a lot of thickness out here. So sacrificing a couple extra points, getting the wraparound is definitely worth it. But once again, this is going to be the move to go here because it puts a lot of pressure on this group. And it's also a lot of points. So that's going to be better. I'm going to do this. It's going to do that. Do this. Come here. That's probably a bad move right now, but because this group is probably more pertinent than this group right now. Also, this is just me taking small advantages. Here, you probably wouldn't connect this. I probably wouldn't connect this. I would just keep on attacking this group right now because this is like not really an eye in here. So does that. I do this. I'm going to do this. And then he's going to do this. I'm going to connect. That's like a horrible move. You can see like this is 40.5 because this group is basically dead. Yeah, this you definitely have to connect. This is actually really hard for me to live even with this because this is a fake eye. This is actually a fake eye. So like I'm really playing on tight ropes. Like I said while I was playing this, I was like, I wonder if he knows how to kill this group. Because I ignored several of his moves over. I actually ignored several of at the end. Couldn't you play P9 and force P10 and cut above? Oh yeah, it doesn't. But at this point, like white's in a lot of trouble here. You definitely have to connect this. You just kind of like let white just like if you connect this, you don't have any like you have these points down here, and you really don't you don't really leave white with any good options because if he connects this right, like this is essentially dead. This is a very easy kill. There's actually like there's very little way that white can actually live here. This is a very easy kill. There's nothing that there's no eyes there. So the thing is, like, you have to gauge how hard it is to kill the entire group of white versus just like, versus just cutting this off and then getting these points, which is fine. Um, but then you leave me a lot of opportunity to do things like this. So at this point, I don't think there's really like a way for... I'm not really sure if there's a way for white to actually win this fight. I guess there could be-ish. Yeah, this is actually troublesome because if white does this, he does win. But I feel like there's just... I feel like this fight definitely favors black. And I probably should have just done this and then let... I don't know if I even win this fight, actually. Probably not. So yeah, I feel like I was kind of forced to do this, but that's not a good move. I feel like black can get out of this pretty easily. I do feel like black can get out of this pretty easily just by doing something like this, right? Like now white has to do this and black can come out this way. If I extend, you can just do this. And then I feel like there's just nothing I can do. Yeah. So I feel like that's the way you should actually play right now. If I do this, you can just kind of do this. And if I do this, you just disconnect. Here, you can just double Atari. If I do this, you just disconnect this. And there's really not much I can do here. So this is actually a really bad situation for me. So this particular move was pretty bad. Of course, I'm going to play that move. I'm going to do this. Here, I'm going to connect. That wasn't a great move. Like, I would definitely just do this. Because your whole goal is to, like... The thing is, like, black has enough territory after killing this that as long as, like, you get this group out, black essentially wins. So you connect, I connect. That I'm going to connect. Here... Okay. I'm going to do this first. This actually isn't good because this actually cost me a liberty. So I should have just done this first. So this actually, white actually wins this because if you do this, you can just do this. So white actually wins that. But this actually cost me a liberty, which is really poor for me to do. I should have just done this first. And that would actually guarantee me a win, I think. Yeah, because this is white has one more liberty than black does. So like after I did this, I was basically just trying to make up for that kind of screw up I did. So you definitely do this. Like black is winning by one liberty. So if you don't tighten this at all, I'm going to win by one liberty. So you have to count. You actually have to count the liberties pretty closely here. Like, because this is actually a pretty easy read. Like, I know that if I do this right now, and then you do this is easy count. Like, black wins, right? But, that's where, like, I screwed up playing this. Like, if I just did, like, this right now, and then you do this, and then I do this, I win. So you actually have to count the liberties pretty closely here. I was counting. I knew I was down by one. Once I did that, I knew I was down by one. So this... and then just like letting up is a bad idea. You need to actually like do that. So here, like I gained the advantage back. Of course, like this doesn't help you because it just solidifies that. So like there was a mistake here and a lot of mistakes here. Like this group was essentially dead because I played so many extra moves over here and I didn't respond. This group was essentially dead. So that's just basically a fighting mistake. And it does require a lot of calculation. You should have definitely connected that down there. So this was actually a lost game for me because I was just like, I was more or less seeing if you knew how to kill this group. and you came really, really close to killing that group. Uh, T14. What do you mean T14? It's not dead. He can just connect. Yeah, like that was the big mistake. Like you didn't actually like. I was just seeing if you could kill this group. Honestly, I should have like. I shouldn't have played. Like I said, like in a regular game, I wouldn't have played this invasion. Like in a regular game, I would not have played this invasion at all. I would have like. I would have actually just like cared for this group. But I just wanted to see like a lot of times when I'm playing these teaching games, I'm just like, do you know how to kill this group? And if you don't, can I like make up some moves to actually like gain this back? Because there's a lot of learning opportunities here. Uh, yeah, you definitely should have connected this. If you had connected that, I would have been in a really, really hard spot. So that's the lesson for today. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button. And oh yeah, this code threat, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. Here, let me go back and see this. This code threat's not big enough. You have to determine the value of this code threat. So if I do this, you just do this, and I do this, and then you kind of solidify here. You have to look at the points. Like white does not have enough points. Like black has all of this territory, and white doesn't have nearly as much territory. So there's not enough points there. So like that isn't a co-threat. It's not a co-threat because it's not big enough. That's why. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys